I'm in a leadership position at a bunch of very large Facebook groups that are trying to have unstructured conversations about current events and economics, and having a lot of trouble because there's a lot of misinformation and misunderstandings about some of the topics in current events. So specifically what I want to talk about is quantitative easing and quantitative tightening. But first, let me explain why these things are happening. Historically, there's this cycle of boom and bust, where the economy is up and down, crashing and booming, and crashing and booming. And the goal became, like, a century ago, to stop that, to shrink it down so that it's more in the middle instead of this up and down and up and down. It's this like less chaotic, more peaceful business cycle. And the way of doing that Keynesian economics uses is interest rates. Interest rates have a relationship with unemployment and inflation, and the government can set interest rates to try to slow down the boom and try to soften the crash. And it worked for a long time. In the 70s, it stopped working, and we don't know why. That's not well understood. Lots of people are trying to understand why that happened. But the new tool that we're using instead, because interest rates don't work the same way anymore, is quantitative easing, which means the central bank buys bonds. And they buy like a lot of bonds. It doesn't mean they're printing money. It means they're buying bonds. And those bonds stay on the central bank's balance sheet to slow down the boom. And when we reach past the peak, we don't really know. We know later. And we know that China is now in a recession. They're already on their way down. And so we probably are too. And so they're about to start selling those bonds that they bought in order to soften the fall, which is quantitative tightening. They're selling the bonds to tighten and stop the fall. Quantitative easing is when they buy them to slow the ascent. Quantitative tightening is when they sell them to soften the fall. So we're about to move from easing to tightening. And that's what's currently about to start happening. It doesn't mean that they're printing money. It doesn't mean that at any point along the way they printed money, or that they're taking money out. The money supply has not grown by 80%. It's just that they started buying bonds in addition to the money that exists. And now they're starting to sell those bonds. I hope this helps.